Gotta say, I'm a little excited. Last month and a half ago, I released my game. It completely tanked. It did terrible. I reached out to you guys. I said, hey, I need some help here. Check out the game, review it. Tell me what you think. And I gotta say, you guys left some great reviews. And they were just good thumbs up. Yeah, they were that. And I appreciate that a lot. But they also gave a ton of input. And this input I've put back into my game to make it better. So that way I earn this respect that you guys have given me. So I really appreciate it. I went from, I think it was like a 9%. It was like mostly negative, terrible. And now I'm sitting at a 60%. And I'll tell you right now, man, my game, Peace Restored, every time I get a vote, every time you go there, you can actually watch the tally. There are few enough votes on there right now that every single vote counts. So if you go in there today, right now, and go to Steam, look up Peace Restored, play it, and then leave a review, you'll actually get to see it go up or down a percentage point. That's how impactful your guys' reviews are right now. And in addition to leaving a vote, if you leave a comment on how I can improve my game or what you liked about the game, I can tailor it. And speaking of tailoring the game, based off your comments, that's exactly what I've done. And so I'm going to go over some of the updates I've done since the last video to give you an idea of what's going on. So let me get this out of the way for a second. I'm actually in the editor right now, but most of these updates have actually already made it into the game. So let me get this out of here. Okay, so it'll be a little choppy because we're, not in the actual game. But if you can see already right now, one of the biggest complaints was, well, I can't see weapons. Well, guess what? Boom. You can see the weapons whenever they're laying around throughout the forest. They're going to light up, and they're going to light up according to their class of weapons. So, like, let's see if I have something in my inventory. So I press I get my inventory. Grenades are green. That's why I can't pick that one up. AR is like this pink color, and it needs some refinement. It might need to be, darkened up a little bit, but it's still there, and you can see them. The other thing people were complaining about were like, I can't find anybody. I don't know where I'm at. I'm lost. Well, if you notice already, I have a little toggleable mini map right here, and this is great. So now you can find navigation. The other thing it does, characters their position will be updated every so many seconds. So if you're trying to find other players, they will appear on the map. Obviously, I'm playing this locally, so there's nobody on right now. But you can say, and here's the greatest part about this map that's added. See the graphic right there, the actual map? Well, that was one of you guys. That was a contributor. That was somebody who was like, hey, I don't think he's even an Unreal guy. He's like, I do, he does all sorts of stuff, UI related stuff. He's like, can I do anything for you? And I'm like, well, heck yeah, I can use anybody. And so I took a picture of the map from way up in the air. And it looked real gross. And I sent it to him. I said, hey, can you hand paint this so that way it looks better? And he did, and he did a great job. So I want to do more stuff like this. So when you guys, you have total control. Not only do you have control over, what I'm going to put in the game, you can actually give me stuff and I'm going to use it in the game. So I don't think he wants me to use his full name. I don't know, but Nathan, I want to thank you for your contribution to this. It's, I want to keep working with you. Great work. Okay. So what other stuff can I use? Well, anything. If you have, let's say you've made a character you might want to see in the game. Let's say you have an object or something that you want to put in the game. That's something we can do. So anyway, speaking of updates, let me, Oh yeah. So I almost forgot to say this. So I added a bunch of stuff. So a lot of it's ease of use, or quality of life sort of stuff. So now all your control. And I know the UI is not pretty yet. Maybe some other people can help me get that looking better. But I added in a bunch of these control bindings, so you can actually control, what button does what. And another guy, I didn't know even people wanted this. I added an invert mouse specifically for one dude. He's like, I can't play the game because I can't invert my mouse. And so it's getting there. Okay, guys, I'm adding stuff. And in fact, I added a little, let me see. Let me get my list over here. I'm keeping this on the community page. So if you guys go over to the community page of Peace Restored, you can see all these little notes like what I added. So if you can see if your problem got addressed. And what I'm doing is I'll read a comment and then I'll go fix it, and then I put the updates here. So like on 9.16, minimap added, key bindings, the controls. I added level fixes. There's a couple guys that were playing the game, and I was in the game with them, and we on the chat, and they were like, hey, I'm seeing holes in the castle, and they helped me fix it, and it was freaking awesome. I also found a weird volume bug that every time depending on the number of people that signed on, the volume of certain sound effects would increase, and that was really strange. So that was just, there's no way I could have tested that because I'd never had enough people testing the game until I released it. The other thing, there was another big update I did a little while back. I added more weapons. They're easier to find. I also added this so when you start a match, players will actually light up. I can't really demo that because I don't have somebody else in the game right now, but the players will light up for like 30 seconds, and then you can go find them. You'll see their silhouettes through a wall, kind of like on a kill cam. That's so, because I have such a large map, it may be even hard to, like, even though on the map where they're at, you need to know their exact location because it can get messy. At first, I didn't like the idea of having other people find other people, but it's just the map's so big, and there aren't hundreds of players right now, so you kind of got to have something like that. I may turn it off when we get more players, but for right now, I like it. It seems to work. I also put less AI in there. They were getting kind of annoying. I'm going to have an update where the AI will actually start attacking each other, and there's going to be teams. So you're going to have like a red team and a blue team, or there might be a faction, different factions, and then they're going to war. So it's going to be more entertaining to where you could spawn in the world, and maybe if you try to avoid them, you could get away with them just attacking each other, and you maybe like watching a war go on between these two. I'll probably have like two major tribes of these bots that are going to be fighting back and forth. Eventually, I'd like to add some wildlife in there and other things like that. I also fixed rock collision. There was some weird stuff with the rocks. I also made it so you spawned at safer locations. I stopped a way you could escape from the world. I'm sure you could still find a way. Your chat logs are now saved. It used to be when you died, your chat log, everything went away, so you lost your conversation. That's now saved. These arrow keys are going to change because I'm adding yet another update, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek on that in just a second. So hang on. And you can't. There were certain like little tricks you could do, like you could enter the game without a name. So I fixed that and added certain quit buttons, stuff that was could drive you really insane if you didn't have it fixed. But the big thing that I'm working on right now, it's super cool. So some people are into this, some people aren't. I'm doing it so that way when it comes tutorial time, I can actually teach you guys this, and I always want to learn this, and it is really rough right now, so give me a break, but it is the build menu, dude. So these icons are terrible, I know, they're just makeshift icons, but look at this, man. I am making a build system. So with the build system, what you'll have it needs work. I understand that, but you're gonna get the basic premise here. So you'll kind of decide the height where you want this, and you'll plot it in there. And I'm just toggling it right now because I don't really have the right buttons. And there's no collision on here, so you're gonna see like he's gonna be walking through stuff and all that crap. But yeah, we'll obviously fix that as we go on. I'm just gonna make a real simple house here. So let me go get some. Put a doorway in here. Get that guy going. Bam. Let's add. I'm just going to pick generic. It's a wall and a doorway. It's a big wall. I want just a normal wall. Okay, wall. We'll put this in here. I'll show you. I know you guys have seen build systems before, but I'm excited because it's the first time I've ever built one, and I had no idea where I was going to begin. And I found some great tutorials on YouTube. Yep, this is the place to go. But they were, some of them, one of them, I mean, dude, it was really good, but like it was really complicated. Like I was going through it like, wow, this guy is like, he's giving you everything, And I've found that most people don't want every little detail. They want the basics. So that's what I'm going to do for you when I get to the time when I am ready to cover this. And anyway, and the roof, yeah, it's going to need some work in here. But there you go. I don't have a way to turn it all off yet. Working on it, but let me get something a little smaller so it's not in the way, like these stairs that I'm working on. But yeah, it'll be all about, making this so like these stairs are going to be clear when you're trying to build and all this sort of stuff. But, lining stuff up maybe a little bit better. But dude, it's going to be a build system. It's going to be freaking cool. Okay, so I know I talked about it just a second ago, but I want to actually show you this in action. I paused the camera real quick. I fired it up with another client, and you can see that he's the red dot over there on the mini map. Okay, so and there was some confusion, like okay, how do I initiate matches and all this sort of stuff? Well, if nobody started a match yet, and you can go in here, you can go to create match, and then you could say, let's say we just want to have one kill, and we don't want any pesky bots around, so we'll turn that off. Anyway, that thing I was talking about, once you click confirm, as you can see, the other character, he's highlighted in pink over there, and so then you can, if there were more people playing, you'd have several silhouettes, but you can tell, okay, there's my target, and likewise, he can see you. And this only lasts for, I forget what I set it to, like 30 seconds or so, 30, maybe 45 seconds, and it would give you enough time to clear the map, and it would initiate engagement. So, of course, then after you start the match, you set it for a one-kill combat battle, and then my AI just came back in, and they're attacking me maliciously, and basically that's how you tally up and you win. You get a win point for it. So with these bots, they're all, and so instead of just attacking you, they're obviously going to be attacking each other, but they're also going to drop like power cells, which is just going to be assisting you in the development of the world. It'll be just kind of a makeshift way for you to have something that you need to have to build stuff. It'll just to get that ball rolling. Eventually we'll have a whole harvest system, like a farming system and all of that sort of stuff. I'm trying to, and I know you're like, man, you're really making a hodgepodge of a game. Well, I'm trying to cover all the popular elements of games, everything from the shooters to the matches to teams to development. So that way I can build any type of game. That's kind of the idea. Like I'm using this as a learning experience, not just, I'm trying to make a game that people actually want to play. Yes, I want people to play it, but really, somebody pointed out to me, you're really making a framework, and I would say that's probably right on. I am making a framework and educating myself in the process. So, and then that way, when it comes time to show you guys how to do it, I can say, hey, I've actually done it. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I've discovered so many things along the way. And I continue to research YouTube videos. In fact, until I get back into doing tutorials, I'll probably have a whole video dedicated to, hey, check out these tutorials. These guys know what they're talking about, specifically these videos on these subjects. That way you don't waste your time, because there's so much stuff that's so repetitive that's the same, or somebody unfortunately showing you the wrong way. And then there are some people out there that are like 10 levels above me that are doing just amazing, like totally professional Unreal Engine development, stuff that everybody could learn from. And so I would like to point you guys in that direction so you can see how I'm learning. And I guess that's how it is with anything. You learn, go to where your teacher's going to, right? So if I'm showing you Unreal Engine stuff, I'm getting it from somewhere. Yes, I'm learning a chunk of it on my own, maybe a majority of it on my own, but there's still like a good, I don't know, at least right now, there's at least 20% of what I'm getting from other people saying, hey, to do this, you need to do that, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, but I want to say once again, I truly appreciate, I read all of your comments. Those votes are super huge. It's not only motivation for me, but it feeds algorithms that make my game pop up more. The more people that play it, the more things that I'm going to get to try, because I have to have players in the game to test certain concepts to see if it actually works. I'm convinced that my game will definitely be a lot better the more people are in it, because it's really is reliant on other players to drive a lot of these things, and right now it's very AI focused, and I never really wanted that. I will continue to develop them to make them less a game about just going out and fighting AI. I mean, I want there to be an actual strategy to what you're doing. And that's why I'm starting with this building system, and eventually moving it more towards a survival system. And maybe they'll even be, with the survival, they'll be hunting, and I'll have some maybe exotic animals and just crazy stuff like that. And then maybe build various biomes within the map, all of these things, but of course all these things take time. So if you're looking at my timeline, I would like to say in the next couple months I would like to have this build system / survival system wrapped up, or at least playable. In the meantime, I'm going to be releasing chunks of these updates. So you're gonna get them, and you're gonna try them, and you're gonna be like, oh man, this sucks, and you're gonna leave a comment, and you're gonna tell me why it sucks and how I can make it better, and then I'm gonna make it better. And I really feel like this is becoming a community of not to sound cliche, but really, like, we're building this game together. Because I'm a lot of times I get to a point, it's like, man, I could go this way, I could go that way, I'm not sure which direction to go, and you guys are the ones that come together, and usually most people are saying about the same things, like, hey, we want this, we want that, and I would have never had considered that direction somewhere I wanted to go, but there would be like a mass of people saying, hey, you need to put this in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll put it in there. And then what do you know? The game benefits from it. So some stuff I don't even know if I like until I get it in there. And I'm like, man, how would I have done? Like I didn't think I would like a map in there. And then I put the map in there, and I'm like, well, shoot, I find myself using it a lot. So it's stuff like that. The highlighting of the weapons, the ammunition. I want to add more weapons in there, but I also want to get more people collaborating with me, because one dude can only do so much work, right? And with this mini map, I think that's a great start. If you're an artist and you have some stuff, programmer that has a plugin, whatever it is, reach out to me. I'm going to put my email address in there. I get a lot of people saying, hey, let's do something, and then I give them my contact, and I rarely get somebody to actually follow through. So don't feel like you're not, like, I'm not going to pay attention to you or whatever. I'm seriously listening to anybody that wants to collaborate. It's just you got to actually do it. If I contact you and I'm like, okay, what do you got? Let's do it. Because I will contact you if you want to do something. I will contact you, and try to take this in a direction that we can both benefit from. So anyway, I'm rambling once again, as usual. I'm going to try to make these videos more frequently. That way, it doesn't seem so long. I had a lot of people saying, oh man, I haven't heard from you in a long time. What's the deal? So sorry about that. I'm going to get some more stuff to you. Leave comments, man. Dude, I'll get to you. Sometimes it's a little bit. I will get to you. But anyway, I'm actually done this time. I'll see you on the next one.